Hello, this is the King of all mediums, and I'd like to welcome you to podcast number 34. And what a beautiful day it was. Got a little chilly towards the end. So this is my second podcast of the day, hoping to catch up so I don't have to do a podcast tomorrow. So today's podcast is my trip to the record store, and I've gone twice now. Before today with my friend Sammy, but he was indisposed today. He couldn't go. He had some personal things to do, so I decided to go myself. And so the record store in these damn notifications. The record store in that I was. So I did a little search, and there was a couple in Brooklyn. I don't like going to Brooklyn, but maybe I should try one in Brooklyn. So I want to go to one in Queens, and there was one in Astoria on Steinway Street, 23 and 19 Steinway Street. It's called High Five Records, and also boasted a cafe. I didn't see much of a cafe when I got there, but it was a little difficult to get to. So first I had to take the R train to Steinway Street, and then I had to take a bus. The Q101 bus. So it was a two fare zone. So immediately right there, and I didn't count this in the $238 day. That's a lot of money. So add that to the day. So that's what is that? $550 in fares. Maybe it counts as a train. I didn't even look. So maybe they did give me a transfer. I think it gives you a transfer automatically. So I took the train, and I arrived there. So I get there. So, before I go, I should say that I was a little worried because they were kind of showing on the on my phone. It was showing they were showing it about Arabic and Hispanic titles for records, and I was like, well, this might not be my place. It is an Arabic neighborhood. There's a lot of hookah places. So it has a heavy Arabic presence, that neighborhood. There's also a lot of Hispanics, like South Americans. So it's a very heavily ethnic area, and I was a little worried that when I got there, my type of music, not being a bigot or anything, of course, the king of all mediums is not a bigot. So, and it was nice, and I got out. I got to see my subjects as a king. Of course, you want to get out and see your subjects. So I got there. And so first thing was, I was very happily. First thing, the girl at the counter yelled at me, "Oh, get hand sanitizer!" I found out this girl was like a real big germaphobe, but very cute girl. I mean, she must have been, early mid-20s, maybe 23, 24. Very cute, pretty girl. Just naturally pretty though. Not one of these girls who wore no makeup and did her hair. Just very one of those naturally pretty girls. And of course, a schmuck like me always thinks, a 56-year-old guy like me, you get one of those girls, but anyway, that's what was going through my mind the whole time there. Maybe I'll buy more records, and she'll have sex with me. If I buy them more records, she'll have sex with me, She'll have sex. She knows I'm the king of all mediums, and she'll have sex with the king of all mediums because I'm buying a lot of records. So the first thing, so they had a pretty good selection. The problem is very expensive, very surprised. And they had these colored dotted, they had $1 records. And the problem is there weren't any $1 records, everything was kind of expensive, $8 to $10. I came across a Grand Funk Shining On record I almost bought for $40 because it had the original 3D glasses, but I finally put that away. So I think I must have bought who knows, like 18 or 19 records. And the bill came out to $187.26. So I paid the cute girl, and so then I went, I said, you got singles. So I bought 10 of those, and they were $1 each. And so she goes. So I paid her cash this time. So she dropped the change into my hand, and this time, so now we're about $200 into the day, right? So of course we didn't have sex with the cute girl at the record shop. Oh, another thing I forgot about the cute girl. So I go in and I figure this is a nice looking white girl, and nice looking white girl. So I figured she's gonna play some kind of James Taylor or something, He must have parents that played James Taylor or something, some Joni Mitchell or something, right? She's playing this rap music. I get it's hip hop music, and okay, so the guy's every 10 seconds is N word, N word, N word. And he's complaining about the white man. 10 seconds. I hear the two sides of this. It was unreal. I was like, looking, I felt like saying something to her. I said, "Excuse me, young lady. This is one of the worst things I've ever." How can you listen? First of all, the guy's cursing. Second of all, he's saying the N word. And how can you put this on in a record store? It was almost like she didn't want to be there. The salesmanship was horrendous. She could have said, "Wow, you bought a lot of records today. Let me buy 2 more. Take 2 more. On me." These kids they don't understand business. It seems like maybe she had like a boyfriend that ran the store and he wasn't there. And they had like a Marantz receiver and they were fixing for somebody. So she probably couldn't fix it. I mean, not to put women down. Maybe she's mechanical. Possibly, but so anyway, it was so hard, and I had to listen to both sides. I said, okay, maybe it's over. No, she flipped it over and she put it on another side. This guy ranting on the N-word and complaining about white men and white people, and how the black man was being. I don't see this, okay, so. I don't see I don't see all the black men being murdered by cops, I just don't see it, I mean, you could count them on your hands, I mean, and most of them, I think there's a few cases that maybe, cops acted a little heavy-handed, and those cops should be, tried under the full extent of the law, but, Michael Brown, no, they don't have a case there. This guy was I think it was good he was shot, So anyway, it's horrible music finally went over. It was so bad, the N-word, and this guy kept on going. And I felt like saying to him something, but somehow I was actually, listen, I mean, I'd like to come back here and buy more records, but that music is so bad. It's so bad. Don't you understand playing that music? Maybe she didn't want people. I think she didn't like what she was doing, and that type of thing. And, she said, "Okay, I'm going to play the worst music possible so people don't come in here." It's funny, by the time, there was no one left, I was the only one left, no one bought anything. You see why businesses fail. Because there's just not bright people behind the business, So she probably has some husband or boyfriend running the place. He probably doesn't work on Saturdays. Or something's not right here, Maybe she's got, but anyway, she did everything. She should have said, "Listen, why don't you take a few records? You really bought so much. Pick a few." They get no business sense for you. It's just amazing. And I said, "Wow, it's a great place. I cannot recommend this place." High Fried Records, 2319 Steinway Street. Do not go to. Prices are expensive. The girl listens to the worst music I've ever heard. She is cute though. So if you're a handsome young guy, you can go there, but she's not going with me. Okay, so now you might say, well, how did I get to $230? So now I leave the place and, well, okay, so one of the bad things about a low-carb, high-fat diet is you're not getting a lot much fiber. You could. I mean, you could eat a lot of, broccoli and stuff. So you get kind of irregular, okay? And I was feeling a couple of pangs, before, and, number 2 problem, and I was thinking, okay, let me go before I go to this record store, because not many places you can go in the bathroom in New York City. There's in the store, it's one of these shopping districts, but it's not like a mall. You know, it's not like middle America here. So, so I felt a little pangs, but they felt okay. I got there, and as I was buying the records, I felt, you know, I was filling up. Now it wasn't. I hate to talk about this graphically, but it was, you know, it was getting to the point where my stomach was filling up so much. So normally I would just take the U101 bus to the R subway and went home, but it got so bad. I said, okay, this is an emergency. So I got a cab, and normally about from that area, it's about $20 or $25. Because I remember I used to take the cab home in my depression days. I was so depressed I didn't want to take the so I gave the guy, you know, $30 basically, like in cash. He goes, you know, the guy said, "Are you gonna pay cash?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I'm gonna pay cash. Just get me the fuck home." He drove me home. I got there, barely made it, and. That's $230. So we got maybe 18, not maybe, I don't know, I didn't count them, a lot of albums, 10 plus albums, maybe 15 albums, 10 singles, and a cab ride home because I had to go to the bathroom really bad, number two, and because I hadn't gone in like a few days, and again, one of the bad things about these low carbohydrate, high fat diets, sometimes we get a lot of roughage. So, you know, I mean, I have been eating a few salads here and there. You know, maybe I should eat them more broccoli or something, but broccoli's not too good. Okay, so no fines today. So two more things. Okay, so so one of my you know, things I've always thought about in life is why, as you get older, does life become worse? You know, so I often thought I think I have a good way of looking at things. So life is kind of like you start out life with a little folder, like a little empty folder, and you start adding bad experiences until the folder starts filling up like this big. And I was thinking about what happened to my niece. Now, my niece is a very nice young lady. She's I think she's going to be 22 this year. She was born in 1999. I guess it should be 22. So, you know, and you know, in terms of bad experiences, I only think she lost three of her grandparents in her lifetime. Her grandmother, my mother, died before she was born. Oh no, actually she didn't. She died when she was like 4 years old. So I don't know if she. So that's probably the worst things that happened to her life. You know, which I mean, in the context of things happening, you know, very sad, but those things are going to happen, so she can probably understand that. Now, a really terrible thing happened to her, not exactly to her, but one of her friends. So one of her friends went skiing, and she went, I guess she broke her neck, and she's paralyzed, she's quadriplegic, and so, you know, so I always thought that's like why as you age, these little things get put in the folder, and this is probably her first. I mean, the three grandparents, you know, they're put in the folder, but they're kind of in the course of things. They were you know, my father was 88, her grandmother was 92. You know, I mean, her grandfather was 88. You know, I mean, they were older people and they lived pretty full lives, but now she has a 21-year-old, a 22-year-old friend that's going to be a quadriplegic most likely for the rest of her life. And you know, I had a roommate, you know, so I went to Albany State originally, and I transferred, but I found out one of my original roommates, this guy Jim, he good-looking guy too, had everything to live for, very athletic. He skied into a tree and he died. So I don't get this skiing thing, you know. I really don't, you know. So anyway, I think it is. So you go, it's like a whole like culture. You go, you got the ski cabin, people are drinking, it's fun, you know. And then people start drinking, and they think they can do a little more. And they can, you know, they think they can do. A better, you know, they think they're a level of expertise. I'm going to do this. And so they think they can ski a little better, you know, like a more better, you know. I bet you a lot of these ski accidents are alcohol related. You know, Sonny Bono. I remember there was a one of the Kennedys. You know, so very dangerous. You know, with these cliff base jumpers. I don't get this stuff. You know, I don't do that stuff. You know, and granted, there are activities that every day we do. We get into cars, very dangerous. But those are necessary things to move from point A to point B. Okay, but especially if you don't live in a city like I do. Okay, but you know, so I don't get this stuff. I mean, you know, like if I go like on a ski trip, I just stay in the lodge. Kingville mediums are gonna come to the ski. No, I'll just hang out in the lodge. I'm happy. It's so fun. Yeah, fun. I mean, to me, it's really dangerous. I mean, now I had that roommate who died, and this poor girl, she's quadriplegic. She cannot reverse. You cannot rewind this. There's no rewind on being quadriplegic. And as far as we know, I mean, unless, you know, maybe sometime in the future we can cure this, but any medical bill, it's just a big mess, you know. So, very sad situation, and but I just don't get this thrill seeking. I mean, and like to me, this is as bad as taking cocaine or heroin. Like it's a really horrible thing, you know. I mean, this thrill. You know, of course, humans have this urge for novel and new experiences. Of course, that's why we take drugs, and that's why you have people who do base jumping. You know, anything that is zip line. You know, I would never do that. I'm a boring person. I mean, you know, you always a lot of guys meet these chicks. You know, hot chick, and she goes, "Oh, you know, let's go zip lining," and they got to do it because a hot chick, if I don't do it, she's gonna fucking dump me. You know, hot chick. And they're like, so I guess I'm sounding like losers luck. I always thought I had that, you know. I mean, you know, I hear these stories, these crazy chicks, and they, you know, what they do to the guys, and they, you know, I mean, but you know, it's crazy stuff. You know, I mean, how can you do this stuff? You know, like poor Christopher Reeves, and you know. So, by the way, these quadriplegics don't go long. Like there's I mean, Christopher Reeve didn't make it about 10 years, you know. And by the way, Mark Farner, Grand Funk Railroad's son, Jesse, tried to do a backflip to show off, and he landed on his neck, and he only made it about 8 or 9 years. They don't make it that far, you know. So quadriplegic is a terrible life. I mean, so, you know, I mean, just feel terrible for this poor girl. Man, you know, it's just. Why do people take these crazy risks? I mean, if you tell me, okay, do this activity, there's a chance, you could break your neck, and you could be a quadriplegic all your life. You know, I mean, sure, it can happen in a car, it can happen in an airplane, but I mean, your car you need to do, especially again if you live in a suburban type thing, but cars have seatbelts, they have airbags, they have things, you know, skis don't. I mean, it's just you, there's nothing, you know. Anyway, last topic, and so, you know, I'm seeing a lot of the, you know, I follow on Twitter Andy No, or Go, or whatever his name is, and I'm just trying to figure this out. You know, it's like, what is all this? What are these people protesting against? Like, you know, it's funny. I got a John Mellencamp CD, the best that I could do. You know, it's a pretty much it's a greatest hits compilation of his probably like from 1983 to 1993, around that area, and. Don't these idiots know this is the best we can do? What else do you want? So what are they? So what are they protesting now? They say Antifa, and then they got this protest, the pipeline or something. They're protesting some kind of pipeline. I don't know. I mean, what are these? What is this stuff got? I've never been in a protest. I mean, I don't even think people want to be in a protest. I think one time in science, Bronx Science, where I went to high school, they wanted to do a protest, and I was like, okay, who wants me to come? Like, no one wanted me to come. They don't even want me in the protest. But I'm trying to figure out what are these people protesting? Like what? Like, I'm trying to figure this. It was a great life. Like, it's food. Like, you go to the supermarket. Let me tell you what I did. I went to the supermarket this morning, and I bought food. It's a great life. I got a refrigerator, you know, it keeps the food warm, cold. And I put it in. I cooked up a low carb pizza, and I had the turkey burgers. I had the turkey burger. I didn't starve. And I got a house, I got a roof over my head, and it's not the greatest life, and I'm a little lonely, you know. But it's better than being starving to death, you know. I mean, what was wrong with these people? I cannot figure this out. I mean, where did I miss the plot of this? These protesters. What are they protesting? Why? Antifa. Like, what is this stuff? I mean, why do they care about ICE? Why do they care about these Mexicans, these illegal aliens? They're breaking the law. Aren't they breaking the law? So they want to see. To me, I don't get this. You know, to me, I'm trying to figure this out. I still like. I mean, you should be supporting the Proud Boys. I mean, what's wrong with the Proud? I mean, they're in the right on this. Like, what is wrong with these crazy idiots? I mean, I just don't get this. I mean, and the press, no, they're good people. I mean, you know, it's amazing. These kids go to college, and these radical left-wing professors are very charismatic, and they feed them a crock of bullshit. They don't say this is a great country, and it is. I don't hear anything wrong. It's pretty damn good. I mean, hey, you know, okay, not everything's perfect. Okay, so you know, life's not easy, but we live pretty good lives. I mean, you know, I wish you could be younger longer. I wish that cute chick. But I was thinking about that cute chick. I was like, well, let's say she liked me with that music. My God, I don't know if I could take it. The thing is, like, what is wrong with these people? I'm trying to figure out where is this this must be mass psychosis. They must be going to these colleges, they're taking these liberal arts courses, and their professors are just convincing them that everything is wrong. We got to change it, and this is wrong, and this pipeline is polluting the environment. I mean, and the global warming is going to, and your generation is the generation before you has destroyed this planet. And, come on. So what do they want? Okay, you know, maybe it's true. Okay, so what do you want now? You want to go back to the Stone Age? What do you want? You know, you know, they live such comfortable lives too. As they go out, they do their protests, they go back, and they go back to their parents' basement. I don't get. I'm trying to figure out where they find the time to do these protests. I mean, like, the whole thing is just it's someone got to make a movie out of it. I mean, where do they come? And a lot of them are funny looking. You ever see some of these Antifa people? They're really funny looking. I mean, I wouldn't fuck them. I'm trying. Like, I look pictures of them. I don't think I'd fuck them, and I'm desperate. You know, I'm really desperate. Oh boy, so it's, you know, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you know, I just don't. You know, it's this massive brainwashing. You know, I mean, it's this massive brainwashing that they try to do to people. You know, it's like, you know, I feel normal. I got some prejudices, but hey, I'm normal. You know, I'm not gonna do anything bad. You know, I treat people. You know, if a person's a black person or a Chinese person, whatever, I treat them nice. But if they're a white person and they're mean to me, I don't like them. I find white people I don't like. I find black people I like. I never found an Asian person I didn't like. There's a lot of white people I don't like. I can tell you stories. Black people I like too. There's a lot of black people I like. So, you know, I mean, what are they teaching? Oh, white man bad, white man bad, white male bad, white Jewish male the worst. Poor white Jewish male, really bad. Okay, so, you know, if the rich white Jewish male, not that bad, because we could get some money out of him. You might bad, but we might be able to get money out of him. So anyway, well, that wasn't too bad. You know, thought I'd have trouble with this. I was getting tired, but I kind of got a second one. Had a Pepsi Zero, I think it is. A lot of caffeine at 41 milligrams and 7.5 ounces. You take two of those, you got a cup of coffee going for you. Okay, so today is March 27th, I do believe, 2021. This is the king of all mediums, and I hope you have a great weekend. I won't be back till Monday, however, on my site tomorrow at Hip Dave's Lounge, we will have a band that probably what I think is the second greatest rock group of all time, and I will have an album of theirs from 1969, and also I will have the schedule for the week. Okay. And I think we're going to, well, maybe I'll tell you the schedule, waste a little time. Okay. I think we're going to go without 8-track tapes again. I have not fixed any, so I think we're going to go with, instead of Monday, we're going to go CD night. I'm going to have a second CD night. I did acquire 10 more singles, so we might as well use them up until I can get my lazy asshole lazy ass to fix some compact discs and 8-track tapes. All right, so thank you so much, and all of you have a great night.